Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's Ayanna. Before we get started, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I listed all my socials in the description box below. I know I'm in a different setting than I was. The lighting in my room just wasn't giving, so I decided to change my setting for this video and see how I like it better, out here. Now, also, guys, I wanted to mention, I didn't really mention it in my last video. I wrote an ebook, right? So I'm going to list it somewhere here on the screen. It's titled, We Are Not on Bad Terms. We Are Done Surviving My Narcissistic Ex. Now, it was just a book I put together just in terms of like, more so I guess a guide, if you want to call it that, to help, the girlies, mainly the girlies, spot those orange flags with a narcissistic, manipulative, nonchalant partner before they turn into red flags, I should say. And I was with him for like 2 years, so I went through a lot, dealt with a lot, and today's story time is actually about him. So just go check it out. I listed it in the description box below as well, so let me know what you think. Now, without further ado, like I said, this story time is about the time he flew me out. So I don't really know exactly what I'm going to title it yet, y'all, but yeah. Now, if you guys watched my last video, Jordan and Delilah felt unpleased with what I spoke about.
Bling, bling. Bitches is mad.
And Jordan made sure to mention that he feels as though I didn't talk about all the things I did. So today's story time is going to piggyback a little bit off of one of the things he says that I did. So let's get into it. Now, y'all, background, y'all know I got to set the scene. Now, we're going to name my ex, this ex, I should say. We'll name him Larry. We'll name him LL for lying Larry. That's what we're going to do. LL, like, yeah, that's what we're going to name him. LL and I met, I want to say, October of like 2020. And y'all, it really wasn't nothing crazy. You know how like you start talking to somebody, y'all texting, y'all just, we linked a few times, but it never came to be anything. We would just hang out, like I said, vibe from here or there, text, but never anything really serious and never really festered into anything, right? So I don't know exactly what happened. I want to say maybe we were texting for like a few months and then communication just died. Like, you know how it be. You text for a little while and then next thing you know, you go to texting somebody every day on FaceTime every day and then y'all just don't talk again. It was one of those situations. So me and him, we were, like I said, we didn't talk for a few months. And if that was October of 2020, I want to say we texted and stuff. We were linking a little bit for, I want to say maybe 3 months of that. And then it died out. And then essentially I ended up, talking to Jordan and meeting Jordan around May of 2021. So I want to say around like maybe August. Now, y'all remember, if y'all was here for the last story time, if y'all weren't, go back and watch that one. Now, in the last story time, I remember I mentioned that, me and Jordan, he just wasn't giving me exactly what I wanted him to be giving me. And that was the trying to be in a relationship, because what are we doing? Now, remember I told y'all around like August-ish, I started pressing him again about the matter, because at this point it was approaching like the 3-ish month-ish mark, way before I even went to the cousin's party and everything in October, right? So in August, Larry decides to just reach out to me. He just texted me one day, and I know, I guess y'all could be like, oh, you shouldn't have responded, girl, you shouldn't have, but I did. It is what it is. So he hit me up and he was like, how you been? What's new with you? I miss you. But it wasn't anything that seemed like super romantic, I would say. Like, we were just talking, just catching up. And then essentially he asked me, I want to say maybe the end of August, like, do you want to link? Like, do you want to come with me to LA? And I'm like, come with you to LA? Come with you to LA? He was like, yeah, like, if you want to go, let me know. I'll send you the money for the flight, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, y'all, so I went back to Jordan and I said, listen, what you trying to do? Like, let me know, like, what are we on? No, I'm still not, I feel like you're rushing me. I feel like you're putting pressure on me. I feel like you're trying to give me an ultimate. Okay, fine. I told Larry that I was going to go to LA with him, and I told Jordan that I was going out there with my brother. Now, if you know, I have an older brother that lives out west, and he lives like maybe 3 or 4 hours from LA. So I was like, oh, him and his friends are going, and he wants me to come out there, so I'm going. That was the story I gave Jordan. Meanwhile, like I said, I was going out there to link Larry. Now, he tells me, I'm thinking it was just going to be me and him. And he was like, nah, it's me and my friends going. So I'm like, you and your friends? And he's like, yeah, it's me, And I guess we can give them names now because why not? So we'll just name them. We'll say his best friend's name is Chris. Chris's brother came with him, so we'll just keep him as Chris's brother because I don't got time. And then his other friend, will name him Tom. All right, so you got Larry, my ex, Tom, his best friend, Chris, and Chris's brother all were going on a trip. So I was like, I'm down. But then at the same time, y'all, I'm like, to each his own. Y'all all do what y'all, everybody does what they want. Me personally, I didn't feel super comfortable going all the way out west. And they was getting an Airbnb, they always going to have their own rooms and stuff. But I just felt like I didn't want to put myself in a situation where it was just me, and I don't have anybody else out there, like, at all. So I told him, I was like, well, how do you feel about me bringing a friend? And he was like, yeah, that's no problem, as long as she cool, she not all, whatever. So I was like, okay. So I knew I had asked like maybe 2 or 3 friends, and then some of them were like, oh, girl, I don't got my hair done. Oh, girl, I don't get paid till next week, whatever. So I was just like, damn. Now, my one friend, we can name her. We're going to name her. We'll name her Megan. And we're going to name her Megan because we both have a love for Meg Thee Stallion. So I'm going to just name her Megan. Now, Megan and I, we became close because I want to say the year prior to me asking her to go on this trip, she just hit me up on Twitter one day and was just like, hey, you want to be Twitter friends? Y'all, I did not know what Twitter friends meant. But essentially, I guess that meant we would send each other funny videos, memes, certain stuff back and forth. And y'all, to this day, we still do it. And like I said, this was back in like 2021. So shout out to you, Megan. Now, I asked her, I'm like, hey, girl, Larry wants to fly me out. He wants to, wants me to come to LA with him. Do you want to go? Now, mind y'all, she travels a lot. This girl was just getting back from, I think, Miami, like the day before. And she was like, yeah, girl, I'm down. I don't got to go back to work till da-da-da. So, yeah, what's up? I'm like, okay. Now, mind you, she lives in Jersey, y'all. I live in PA. So, essentially, we was just making the plans. I was telling her the dates and stuff. And she was going to fly out of Jersey. Like I said, I was going to fly out of Philly. And we were just going to link there. Now, I want to say leading up to the trip, if he invited me, I want to say in August, we ended up going for like a Saturday, Sunday, like a Saturday to Tuesday, I want to say it was. Because I believe we stayed 3 nights. So it was like a Saturday to Tuesday we were going. And I think him and his friends were going from like that Friday to Wednesday or something. Or maybe like that Saturday to Wednesday. I know they got there, I think, a day before. And were leaving a day after us. So it was like, cool. We were going right in between. Now, I tell him, okay, yeah. He was like, look for a flight. I look for the flight. I tell him, he sends me the money for the flight. I'm like, okay, cool. She books her flight. We're golden. Now, y'all, I honestly want to say I probably was like with Jordan, like at his house or whatever, like maybe 2 days prior to letting him know, like, yeah, I'm going on my trip, whatever, y'all. I was telling that man, it is what it is. Now, like I said, I ended up going back home, day of the trip. I end up driving to Philly. I leave my car at one of the, the little airport parking things. And then I catch my flight. Now, I think I want to say my flight left maybe at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Maybe like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. But y'all know it's like a 2-hour, 3-hour time difference, I think. So, I think it's like a 3-hour time difference. Now, I want to say if I left here at like 1 in the afternoon, I was getting there. I think I got there, I want to say it was like maybe 6-ish, 5-ish, 4:30. Somewhere around there between like 4 and 6. And Megan was going to be landing like at least 2 hours after me. So I'm like, okay, bet. So y'all know, I get to the airport, everything's fine, get on my little flight, and I make my way out there. I didn't do nothing crazy on the plane. I think I slept, read a book or something, watch a movie. And then I get there, I hit him up. He was saying that where we were staying at was like 40 minutes. Yeah, it was like 40 minutes away or so. So he was like, LA, if y'all know, LA traffic is crazy. So he's like, I'm sitting in traffic, but I'm going to get there, you still got to get your bag and stuff from baggage claim. So, I'll let you know when I get there. So I'm like, okay, cool. So at this point, I don't know if Megan had Wi-Fi while she was in the air. I don't think she did, but I think I had essentially still texted her and was like, let me know when you land. We're going to go back to the house, so I can put my stuff down and we'll just come back and get you. So that was that. So I get, outside, I get my bag or whatever. I'm waiting. Y'all know when the people come up to pick you up and the Ubers and buses and stuff all come while you're outside. So I'm just standing there. I'm calling him. He finally pulls up, y'all. He pulls up in a, and don't get me the line, y'all. I'll be honest. I don't really remember the difference between like a Scat Pack, Hellcat, all of this. I believe it was an SRT though. I'm not going to hold you. I think it was a royal blue SRT. So do with that information what you will. So he pulled up in that. You know, he gets out, you know, gets my bag, whatever, we hug or whatever, you know, I get in the car. Now, speeds off, and, you know, we talking. He's like, how you been? You know, you really made it, da-da-da, you know, y'all know, we vibing, we having a little good time. So I'm like, okay, what's the plan, though? Like, and he was like, well, tonight we trying to go to Crustaceans. Crustaceans is, like, more of, like, was it a seafood restaurant? Well, I guess it was, because it was called Crustaceans, right? But, yeah, it was, like a more bougier, fancier seafood spot. So they wanted to go there for dinner that night. And, yeah, so the plan was me and him were going to go back to the house. I was going to, like, he was going to run into his friends, make sure, I guess, what did I name that boy? Tom, I think I named him. He was going to get drinks and wraps and everything that they was going to have so they could bring it back to the house. And like I said, we were on our way there. So I'm like, well, what's the plan for, like, the whole weekend? Like, because I'm nosy. I be wanting to know. I'm not one of those girls, y'all, unfortunately, that can just sit there and be like, just happy to be here, especially in a situation where it's like, you're not really my man. You're not my man yet. Like, we're just vibing. So I just be wanting to know, just for my own safety, you know. Y'all probably like, girl, you already there. You already in his car. I know, y'all, but still, I be wanting to be nosy. So I'm like, well, what's the plan? So he was basically saying we was going to go to Crustaceans that night, which was Saturday night. Sunday, I believe they wanted to, like, just go shopping and stuff. And then we were supposed to be going to dinner that next night, I want to say, at, I think he said Mr. Chow's. If y'all know, y'all know. I think it's some restaurant in, like, Beverly Hills or something. But we were supposed to go there, and that was it. So I'm like, well, are we going to go to the beach? Because I like the beach. This is not my first time coming to LA at this point. So I'm like, I like going to the beaches out there. I hate the beaches on the East Coast. Hate them. So I'm like, I want to go to the beaches. He's like, you know, we don't really like beaches. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, why do I care what your friends like? Are y'all all sharing a car? Now, I'm going to get to that in a second, y'all. But anyway, he was like, you know, just relax. Like, we vibing. Like, you know, it's your first night. Like, you know, relax. Like, I got you. So I'm like, okay. Y'all, we get all the way to the house. Y'all, the house is beautiful. I'm not going to hold you. It was like a mansion in the hills. Like, it was literally in Beverly Hills. It was a mansion. And they each had their own room. So, like, the way the house was set up, it was like when we pulled up, you know, they have, like, y'all know, like, those gates that actually slide open. So it's like it slid open. They had the 2-car garage. So we go in, the other car, I guess, that was there wasn't there. So he was saying Tom had his own car. And I think Chris and his brother were on the same flight as me. But they were, like, when he was coming to get me, they were on their way to go get their rental cars. So I'm like, cars, like, plural? He's like, oh, yeah, we all got our own cars. Because, you know, I don't know. Because I don't know, y'all. Maybe I'm different. When we go on a trip, y'all already know. We all decided on how much that car is, and we're all splitting it. We all putting in. We probably all taking turns driving. We all taking turns putting gas in it. I don't know. Maybe it's because guys, they love to drive, so they don't really want another man riding them around. But girls, we just be like, one for all for one, you know? Y'all know. So I'm like, okay. He's like, yeah, they're not here yet or whatever. So I'm like, okay. So we go in. They got a little keypad. Keep this in mind, y'all. They got a little keypad on the garage door, like, not from outside. You know, the garage door comes up. You pull in. We getting out the cars. He's getting my bag. And we're going into the door that leads into the house. It's a keypad he has to put in, like a little code. Y'all, I should have paid attention to that code. So I'm like, all right, we go in. The kitchen is nice. You know, you got the high marble counters with the bar stools. Nice view of, like, I don't even know what you want to call it. I'm going to try to insert some pictures of the views and, like, little certain parts of the house without giving away, you know, too much. So you have the nice living room. You got these really open wide balcony that, like, kind of wrapped around the house almost. And, like, when you go out on the balcony, it was like stairs that led up to, like, a grill and a jacuzzi. Then you had a bathroom right there. I'm trying to think if I'm mistaken. You had a bathroom right to the left across from the kitchen, like a little half bath. And then when you go down, like, the first flight of stairs, it's one landing. It was where Larry and I were staying in one room. And then across the hall, Tom was staying in that room. He had his own bathroom. And then you go downstairs again, and Chris had a room downstairs, and his brother had a room across from him. And I believe they shared a bathroom downstairs. So I'm like, it was a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, and yeah, it was just nice. So we vibing, you know, we sitting there talking, we catching up, we flirting and stuff. And he's like, you know, what you wearing tonight? You know, we was just talking, you know, what's your friend on? That's what he was saying. He was like, you know, what's your friend on? I'm like, what you mean? He's never met her at this point. So I'm like, what you mean? What is she on? He was like, you know. And y'all know what he was trying to insinuate. And I was like, oh, nah, that's not her. She's not coming out here to do nothing like that. She's not coming out here to be choosing. She's literally coming out here to just have a good time, be moral support for me, make sure I'm good, which thank God, y'all, she was there. So I'm like, you know, to make sure she was good, to make sure I was good, and that was it. I was like, she's not about to be out here in your friends' faces. If something happens, you know, that's not my business, but I know her, that's not the type of time she's on. So he was like, okay, cool. Now, at this point, Tom comes in, you know, I meet him. Y'all, he pulls up in a damn, what was it, like a white Challenger? I think it's whatever car Dom had in Fast and Furious. Yeah. I think it was like whatever car Dom had in Fast and Furious. He had just had an all-white one. So I'm like, okay. Then I want to say, at this point, we were kind of creeping up. He was rolling up. They were smoking and stuff. So I'm like, well, I'm looking at my phone, and I think I was looking at like her flight, and I think her flight was going to be coming in like 20 minutes. So he was like, all right, let's go. So they were basically saying, him and Tom were going back and forth saying, yeah, you know, I'm going to come back. I'm going to get ready. I'm going to make sure they ready. And then I'm going to meet y'all at crustaceans. Because I think the reservations, y'all, was at like 9. And at this point, it was already like maybe 7, if I'm being honest. And we still had to go, come back, get ready, and get there. We essentially, I don't think, got to our reservations till like maybe 9:30, 9:45. But Tom, Chris, and Chris's brother was already there. But anyway, you know, we get to the airport. We pick her up. Nothing, you know, went off with that. She gets in the back seat. She's talking. You know, they getting along. Were they getting along, y'all? I don't even remember. I have to ask her. I believe they were getting along fine in the beginning. You know, she was in the back seat. We were talking. And she's just like me, like, okay, so what's y'all plans for the week? Like, what are we doing? And he was like, dang, y'all both like that? And I'm like, yes, because we're girls and we're nosy and we want to know. Because it was so hard getting information out of him just in terms of what to pack for the trip. You know, girls, we going to pack like at least 2 dresses, some heels, couple purses, some sunglasses, you know, 3, 4 maybe bathing suits, and what, like, y'all, some shorts, a little crop top. You know, you kind of got to mix it up. So me and her were kind of pretty much helping each other as what to pack, because he just was not giving me no information. I don't know why people be so secretive. But anyway, like I said, we vibing. We pick her up. We head back to the house. When we get back to the house, Chris, his brother, and Tom, they in the kitchen rolling up. They meet her. We all saying, you know, hey, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. And they were heading out. So, if I'm not mistaken, Megan went downstairs, and I hope I'm not saying her name, so I'm not really paying attention like that. But Megan goes downstairs, and she used Tom's bathroom because she was staying upstairs in the living room. And, you know, obviously it's the living room, so her stuff is upstairs. She doesn't have any real privacy because everything was already booked. We literally planned this trip. I want to say they basically had already had everything booked already. So it wasn't nowhere for us to like really go. Obviously I was going to be with Larry, so she was like, I'm not going to be laid up with none of his friends, so I'm going to sleep in the living room. So I was like, okay. So she ended up using Tom's bathroom. Larry went in, he hurried up, took his shower, got ready. You know, it don't take boys that much time to get ready. So here, got out the way, and then he pretty much went upstairs and kept getting ready in the half bathroom upstairs on the main floor. So I'm in there, you know, we getting ready, putting on dresses. I'm gonna insert some pictures. But, you know, we getting ready, putting everything on. And we essentially get in the car and we start heading to Crustaceans. The restaurant, I want to say, was like a cool 20, maybe 25 minutes away. We get there, nice restaurant, you know, we sit down. And, what was I going to say? Everybody starts ordering drinks, you know. Chris, his brother, and Tom, I believe they had already had like maybe 1 drink or so, or they were just waiting. But what I learned about all of them are they love to smoke, but none of them drink like that. Meanwhile, Megan drinks, she doesn't smoke, and I do both. So yeah. Now, like I said, everybody's ordering drinks. Y'all, ordering normal things. Like, what do you think of when you order just a drink? You go to a new restaurant, whatever. What's your drink of go-to? Comment down below and tell me what's your drink of choice. You got a margarita, you got a Long Island, you got a lemon drop, you know, you got things like this. Everybody's ordering little small stuff. A little Mai Tai, a little, I forget what that, apple sour, I think. You have different types of drinks. Why does Larry order a Bloody Mary? Y'all, why does he order a Bloody Mary? What is that doing? Like, you don't even, 1, you don't drink. 2, what is that? That's like something you see somebody order on TV for real. So I'm just like, the waitress brings it. Everybody looking at him like, what is that, Law? It looked like it had like a pepper hanging out and all this. Isn't it like tomato juice and hot sauce? That's all I ever thought about Bloody Marys to be. Like, the name sounds good, I guess, but who really enjoys them? No shade, no shade. But anyway, he's looking at the waitress. She brings it. He's like, and she's like, do you not want it? He was like, oh, I thought it was something else. clearly. So she takes it back. I think she ends up bringing him like a Long Island. Now, y'all know, if you know, Long Islands are one of my favorite drinks, but they sneak up on you, and obviously it's a mix of everything, so you kind of got to be careful. And in an expensive restaurant like this, like we were at, they give you a little bit more top shelf alcohol, so you probably gonna feel it a little bit more versus than you going to Applebee's or something like that, right? So y'all, everybody's drinking, holding their liquor fine. Larry, you can tell he's drinking, but like y'all, like I said, I've hung out with him before, and like I said, we went on dates, but I don't think he ever got like that lit. I think at most when me and him went out before, when we first started talking, he probably had like a drink or two, but immediately after or right before, he was smoking to balance it out, you know? So we smoked on the way there in the car, but yeah, I don't know. He starts feeling it, you know, whatever. It gets to the end of the night. Everybody's just having a good time. You know, nothing really happened at dinner that night. So he was just really lit. We leaving out, and, you know, they all had their cars or whatever. And Megan tells me, like, girl, I'm not getting in a car with him. Like, he's drunk. Like, I'm not getting in a car with him. You can get in a car with him if you want to. So, y'all, don't judge me. Yeah, you could be like, girl, that's dangerous. Like, why would you do that? I do not condone drinking and driving, guys. It happened. It happened. This was before. This was the past. It's not gonna do about it now. But against my better judgment, you know, I got in a car with him. I knew he was lit. So, you know, we sit in the car, and, you know, we all walking out together, and Megan decided that she was gonna ride with Chris. Chris and Chris's brother, they all had drove their own cars there, which I thought was completely weird. Like, we're all going to the same place. Why is everybody driving a car? So I think Chris had like a BMW like truck, and his brother had a gray, what is that? Mustang convertible. He had a gray Mustang convertible. Larry had the SRT. Tom had the white Challenger, I think. So they all had their own cars. So she gets in the BMW truck with Chris, and she was like, okay, y'all, these boys are racing basically back to the house. And like I said, we were staying in the hills. So y'all know, if you stayed in the hills, y'all know in the movies where they don't be having like the barriers for real on the side of the roads, or the barriers are like really thin and small and short, that if your car go over it, that barrier is not stopping anything. That's what they were doing. Speeding, thinking they Fast and Furious, thinking they Paul Walker, R.I.P., thinking they Paul Walker, Dominic Toretto, racing up these hills. He's lit. I was still like, y'all, I was lit, so I was having fun. And it was like the adrenaline rush. But now when I sit back on it in my later years, I'm like, damn, that was really irresponsible. But I'm still alive. I'm still alive.
I'm still alive. I'm still alive.
So anyway, we get back to the house. You know, everybody's laughing, talking. Low key, I wasn't mad that we didn't really go out that night because it was a long day. That flight was long. Dinner, we had already ate. We lit, high. I'm ready to lay down. He's lit. Larry's lit. He goes down to the room, and I guess he just lays down. I'm upstairs with the rest of them, talking, laughing, vibing. He texts me. He's like, you're not going to come downstairs? You're not going to come downstairs and, you know, lay up with me? So I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. So I go downstairs. I'm with him. You know, we talking. You know, we vibing, laying there and stuff. And then, y'all, he just starts throwing up. Y'all, I knew he was lit. Throwing up on the side of the bed. Throwing up. I don't necessarily want to say I was turned off. I was just like, wow, like, why did you even do this? Like, why did you do all this? You trying to show off for your friends? Like, you happy to just be here, y'all? I don't know what it was, but he was just doing too much. So anyway, he threw up. You know, I took care of him, got him some water, went upstairs, got him some water, you know, got him the cool rag. I ended up going upstairs for a few hours, chilling with Megan, and we were just chilling, dancing, watching videos, and then essentially I went back downstairs, went to sleep. Fast forward, next morning, Chris's brother stayed at the house, and Tom stayed at the house. So me, Megan, his best friend Chris, and Larry, we all went together to Walmart. So Larry drove, and them two was in the back. Chris and Megan was in the back, and we ended up going to Walmart. So we go to Walmart. They decided that they wanted to do brunch that next morning, which would have been Monday morning. They wanted to do brunch. So we like, okay. So y'all, we in there getting, you know, breakfast foods, meats, fruits, orange juice, wines, all types of stuff, snacks, candies, whatever. And we was in there for maybe like an hour or so. Got everything we needed, filled up the car, and we essentially go back to the house. They putting everything away. You know, we just chilling, smoking, whatever. And then they decided that they wanted to go shopping. So don't get me the line, y'all. I should have asked Megan before I recorded this, but I want to say we went to Melrose. I think it was Melrose, where like the strip that has all the stores, sneaker stores, boutiques, all types of stuff on that road or on that strip. we went there. They was in the sneaker stores, you know, buying sneakers and, you know, going around, just looking at stuff, just walking around, just being outside. Me and Megan kind of broke off from them, and we went to the little, you know, cutesy boutique shops, and we was just vibing. You know, he ends up texting me like, okay, where you at? Like, we about to leave. So I'm like, okay. We link back up. So at this point, me and Megan are like, well, what else we about to do? Like, damn, that's all we did. Like, we went to Walmart, came out here, walked around, and now we about to go back. Like, I feel like you're in LA. We're from the East Coast. There's so much to do. There's so much we could be doing. Like, I don't know. So she was, at this point, she was pretty much full-blown riding with Chris because she wanted to leave me and Larry alone. Like, she didn't want to just be third wheeling with us. So she was riding around with them. And then that way she could still ride in the front seat. She don't got to be in the back seat, you know, everything. So I was like, okay. So she's like, well, I was talking to Chris, and he said that him, Tom, and Chris's brother all wanted to like go to some outlets and go to the mall. And she was like, I'm down. Ask Larry what he wants to do. So I asked him. He's like, nah, I'm going back to the crib. I spent mad money on that crib. I want to go back to the crib. And I'm just like, y'all, pause, side note. Why do, not all men, but a lot of y'all stereotype, y'all go to LA or go to Houston, go to these places, and y'all all get these nice fancy cars. Y'all just want to go out to eat to restaurants, go to cookies, go shopping for sneakers and window shopping, and then y'all go back to the place and get high, watch music videos, and then y'all go home. Just an observation. So he was like, yeah, you know, I'm not really feeling it. Like, I'm trying to go back. I'm like, okay. So I'm texting Megan because she's in the car with Chris. And I'm like, well, he's talking about he going back. So she was like, well, I'm about to tell them that he going back, but we should still go. She was like, so if we still gonna go, you gonna come with us? I'm like, yeah. Like, I'm gonna go with y'all. And y'all, I'm skipping a whole part if I'm not mistaken. So fast forward, I'm gonna rewind a little bit. I'm sorry. After we left Walmart, we actually did go to brunch because I don't want y'all to be like, damn, when did y'all eat? When did you do anything? After we left Walmart, we came back. We ended up linking and getting with, not basically picking them up because, like I said, they drove themselves, Tom and Chris's brother. And we ended up going to brunch or whatever. And then after we went to brunch, then we went shopping. And then from shopping, Larry wanted to go back to the house. So I was like, well, ask Chris. Y'all remember like a few years ago when people was cracking those jokes saying, friend groups be having a leader? Y'all, I kid you not. Hopefully they don't ever see this. But Larry seemed like he was the leader of his friend group. Like, I don't know. Maybe he planned the trip or something. I don't know. But it's like, if he wants to go back to the house and y'all 3 grown-ass men and y'all want to go somewhere else, why are y'all not doing what y'all want to do? 3 trumps 1. Like, I'm confused. So they were like, oh, I guess we'll all just go back too. So I'm just like, okay. So me and Megan just like irritated because we just like, y'all, this night, I'm trying to think, what did we end up doing later this night? I think we were going to dinner this night, but the next day, like I said, was brunch or whatever. So I'm just like, okay, so all we're doing is pretty much walking around and eating, whatever. Where's my beach? Where's my little beach trip? So I'm like, okay. We end up going back to the house. I believe, you know, some people took naps or whatever. You know, me and him was downstairs watching movies and stuff. And then it was time to get up so we could start getting ready. So at this point, we're going to Mr. Chow's. Now, Chris's brother just didn't want to go. I think he was just like, I'm going to order food or whatever. I don't want to go. I'm not really feeling that. So essentially, it was me, Larry, Megan, Tom, and Chris. Again, all drove their own cars. She drove, again, rode with Chris. So we get to the restaurant, y'all. It's a bougie restaurant. Like, I believe they bring everything to the table, like, a la carte. Meaning, everything is, like, shareable. They just bring big dishes, small plates, and then you kind of, like, family style, get it yourself. But they had stuff on the menu, like, y'all, like duck, veal, stuff that you don't find at a regular restaurant. It ain't chicken tenders and fries. It's not a burger. It's not a wings. It's not steak and shrimp. It was, and the menu was limited. Like, you can pick and choose as a whole the things that you want. So we kind of all had to agree. But you could tell they didn't really know what certain stuff was. You know, like foie gras and stuff like that. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe foie gras is like duck. They didn't really know like what certain stuff meant. So again, if you told me this is where y'all wanted to go, so which I saw this on Instagram and decided like, yeah, we're going to go there. But y'all didn't really look at the menu. Like, y'all, again, comment down below. Let me know. Do y'all look at the menus before y'all go to restaurants? That's why I wanted to know what we were doing, so that way I already know what we're going to get before we go there. Like, what I'm going to get, I should say, before we get there. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Y'all, we sitting down. Chris is fine. Chris is like looking at the menu. He's like, okay. Y'all, Tom and Larry looking at each other just irritated, just like, we could have, what is this? Like, I don't eat this. Man, I'm from da-da-da. I'm from da-da-da. We don't eat this. We don't eat this. And I'm just like, what? Like, why did y'all want to come here? Like, I'm so confused. So the owner, manager, I guess, the head cook, head of the kitchen, whatever, he comes out, you know, he's asking us, you know, what we want. We're ordering drinks. They're getting everything. But in the midst of him, like, taking the orders and walking back, they're like, we might as well just leave. Tom is like, yeah, bro, you remember the last time we was out here? Remember that hibachi food truck we went to? And I'm like, looking at Meg, and we just like, no, y'all no, y'all not. No, y'all not. So Meg spoke up. Meg was like, y'all had us get dressed. We have on heels, makeup, everything. We're not about to get up and leave to go to no food truck. Like, y'all do, like, no. Y'all should look at the menu and saw what y'all was getting yourselves into prior to us getting here. And I'm like, right. So you could tell they were starting to look at Meg like you got too much of an opinion. And I don't know why men don't be liking women with opinions. Some men don't be liking women with opinions. But, you know, to each his own. So Chris is telling them, like, yeah, y'all, like, relax. Like, we already here. Like, come on. Like, y'all can find something to eat. So they just, like, attitude. Like, Larry got an attitude. Y'all, me and Megan having a time. We eating. You know, I'm doing my little boomerangs. I'm having a good time. Larry's barely talking. He's, like, killing the mood low-key. And I'm like, why are you doing all of that? But I'm like, whatever. So he goes to, like, after they pay the bill, I guess the bill came. Y'all, don't get me the line. I don't know how much that bill was. The three of them split it 3 ways, and that was that. Now, we go to, Larry gets up. Like, as soon as they pay the bill, he gets up, and he whispers to me. He's like, I'm about to go get the car. And I'm like, okay. So he goes to get the car. So at this point, again, I'm sitting there with Megan, Chris, and Tom. And I'm like, well, what y'all trying to do tonight? Like, at this point, y'all, it was literally only like 9 o'clock. Yeah, it was only like 9 o'clock. So I think our reservations low-key was like 7:30. So it was like 9, 10 o'clock. I'm like, it's early. Like, we could hit the streets. Like, we could be outside. Like, what's up? I think it was, like I said, it was a Sunday night. You had after-hour spots. Like, we could have found something to do. Now, I get it. They weren't really into the party scene. But my thing is, it's like, what else are y'all doing? Y'all got all of this nice, expensive stuff on. We just ate. Like, y'all, clearly y'all mood is bothered. Why not go somewhere, stand around, get a drink, meet a girl, do something, socialize. Instead of just being holed up in the house talking to each other the whole time. I don't know. But whatever. So we talking to them. They like, yeah, you know, we are trying to go out. Like, we don't think Chris's brother, like Chris was saying, like, I don't think my brother trying to go out. But, you know, if y'all trying to go out, like, we could go out. I was going to leave Larry and go out with them. Not like that, y'all, because Larry, you keep wanting to go back home, and for whatever reason, they keep wanting to follow you. And I don't understand, because if he was like, yeah, y'all, let's go out, and I'm asking you to go out, why you don't want to show me a good time? And I'm trying to show my friend a good time. Like, what's the problem? And the way you hyped this trip up to me when you were first inviting me, I'm just like, where's that energy? But I'm like, okay. So I see him pull up in the car or whatever. So I'm telling them, like, all right, I'll see y'all later, I guess, because they not making no real decision. We telling them, like, make a decision right now so I could tell him. He would have had an attitude, y'all, but I didn't care. We could go out. Like, we already outside. I got my own money. She got her own money. Like, what's up? I'm not saying y'all got to pay for me or nothing. Like, what's up? They like, nah, you know, Larry trying to go back to the crib. So we're going to go back to the crib. And I'm just like, me and Megan like, yep, he the leader of the group, y'all. He the leader of the group, because I'm not understanding. The math is not mathing. I'm like, okay. I leave. I go get in the car. He speeds off, listen to music. He's smoking or whatever. And, y'all, he ends up getting gas and going to Domino's. Going to Domino's, y'all. He had that much of an attitude. He was so hungry. He ends up going to Domino's. We go back to the house. He comes inside, takes his pizza down the stairs, closes the door. Like, it's our fault that you were there. Like, it's our fault. And y'all, side note, why when we was at that restaurant, why we had saw Omari Hardwick, you know, Ghost from Power? I'm just not thinking about that. When I was talking to Megan the other day, I was like, remember when we saw him? But yeah. Anyway, back to the story. So he gets the pizza box, y'all. He just goes downstairs. So I'm just looking at Meg. She looking at me. So she's saying to, like, Chris and Tom, like, why y'all didn't want to go out? They like, it's not a big deal. They like, it is what it is. Or we're not going to go out without our man. So, you know, it's whatever. I'm like, okay. They end up going downstairs to their respective rooms. Me and Megan was just up there just talking, gossiping. Like, girl, like, I was like, I'm trying to go to the beach. Like, what are we going to be doing? Like, I'm over this. Like, y'all, the next day, that was our last day. We would leave on Tuesday. So at this point, I'm like, we haven't really done anything. I done got cute, took a couple of pictures here and there, but, like, we're not doing nothing. She was like, all right, we're going to see, like, what tomorrow looking like. I'm like, okay. I go downstairs, get in bed again, night uneventful. Next morning, I wake up, he's out the bed. I smell cooking and stuff because, like I said, they're cooking breakfast for brunch. Meg ends up texting me and she was like, you up? I'm like, yeah. So she comes downstairs with me. We downstairs talking and stuff. So she's like, did Larry say anything? Like, what do we, like, did he say, like, what y'all trying to do today? She was like, and I'm surprised, like, he's not even trying to take you out to do anything. Like, I don't mind. Like, I've gotten acclimated, you know, accustomed to his friends by now. Like, I don't mind staying here, kicking it with them for a few hours while you and him go off to do something. But y'all, he's not being, like, communicative with me about anything. So I'm like, I don't know. So essentially we go upstairs or whatever. They were in the kitchen. They weren't in the living room where Meg was sleeping. So me and her turned the TV on. We got Meg Thee Stallion playing. Y'all, they irritated. Y'all, they was annoyed. They was irritated. They like just looking at us. Larry gonna text me. Like, my thing is like, why do you keep texting me? Why do you keep trying to portray an image for your friends? Y'all, sorry about that, y'all. My light died, but I'm gonna try to finish and get this video out because I try to put on a charger for like 2.5. Now, anyway, like I said, so he texts me and I'm sitting here like, why you keep texting me? You trying to just keep trying to portray an image for your friends. So he texts me and essentially I'm looking and he's like literally across the room. I'm looking. He's like, can y'all go listen to Meg downstairs? They were not even watching the TV, y'all. They were in the kitchen minding their own business, cooking. Why are you worried about? And I get it. Maybe they just didn't want to hear it, but it's like, whatever. So me and her was like, okay, we gonna go downstairs. We go downstairs. We end up going to Tom's room. We in there. We got Meg on the TV. So we sitting there and I'm like, I'm over this. Like, he's pissing me off. Like, I'm ready to hit the streets. Like, I want to go outside. I've been told him I wanted to go to the beach. And like I said earlier, she had asked me, like, you know, did he specify what he, like, even if y'all was going to go somewhere and do something. I'm like, no, I'm over it. I'm out. She was like, what you want to do? She was like, I was like, let's go to the beach. So we trying to look up what beaches were closer. So Venice Beach looked like it was close. So I was like, okay, well, let's try to go to Venice. So we started looking up the different ones and seeing how far each one was, what each one is known for and stuff. So we basically both decided on Venice. So I'm sitting there like, okay, we just gonna get an Uber. So we trying to price the Uber. I think the Uber was like $45 to get to the beach. So I'm like, okay, well, we could do that. And she was like, well, you think Larry will let you get the car? And I'm like, probably not. Niggas not gonna let you drive their car. They just not gonna do that. And they think we already can't drive. So she was like, just text him. So I text him. Naturally, he ignores me. So she was like, well, I done built like some type of friendship with Chris. So I'm gonna ask him. And I'm like, girl, all he gonna do is show Larry. And Larry's gonna be like, no. And he's gonna say no. Because again, they follow after everything. Even though Larry didn't put the money in, Larry is not driving your car, hasn't sat in your car, nothing. He's still gonna tell you no, and you're gonna listen to him. And that's exactly what Chris did. He just listened to him. So at this point, I'm like, well, you're not about to keep baby in a cage. You know, I'm not staying in the crib. Like, I'm ready to get out. So she was like, well, let's just go. So she decides that she's going to go upstairs. She brought her bags downstairs. And in between, like, you had Tom's room and you had the bathroom. And he had two entrances. You could get to the bathroom from the hallway, like the main hallway, or you could get to it from his room. And then right next to his room was like a workout yoga room. And it didn't have like that much stuff. And it had like a yoga ball, a really big mirror, like a yoga mat, a little bit of weights on the floor. But other than that, the room was essentially empty. And then right next to that room was the room me and Larry were staying in. So yeah, so she goes upstairs, she grabs her bag, she brings them downstairs to the little yoga room. And I was like, I'm about to go in there and start getting ready. So I go in, I jump in the shower. She goes to Tom's bathroom. She jumps in the shower, blah, blah, blah. They still upstairs listening to NBA Youngboy and Polo G and Herb and Dirk and all of this other stuff. And I'm like, you know, that's fine. She, I guess, had to go upstairs because she left something upstairs in the half bathroom because that's where she was primarily getting ready, you know, the last couple of days. So, again, I'm pretty sure they saw her because when she went upstairs, she had on, like, her, I want to say Megan had on, like, her bikini top and maybe, like, her bottoms. I'm pretty sure. I think she had on, like, her cover-up. She had on everything. So, again, I haven't been back upstairs at this point. I've been downstairs because all my stuff is down there. I don't have no reason to go back up there until we're ready to leave. So we go, after I'm done getting ready, she's done getting ready. We're pretty much in the yoga room. Like I said, they have a big mirror. So, you know, we in there taking pictures, blah, 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 blah. Next thing you know, she's like, okay, I got to go back upstairs real fast. So I'm like, okay. She goes back upstairs. Y'all know in the movies when something happens and you hear it's like music and playing everything and then you hear, that's literally what it was. It's like everything sort of kind of like went blank in a way. So we're like, I'm like, well, what the hell? She comes back downstairs. She's looking at me. She's like, I'm like, what happened? She's like, girl, she was like, I don't know. Like, they all kind of just got quiet. Like, I don't know. So I'm like, okay. Mind you, Larry still has not come downstairs. He still had not said nothing to me. He has still not asked me. You've been texting me this whole time. You haven't texted me. You haven't said nothing. So I'm just like, okay, you're not going to say nothing? I'm not going to say nothing. It is what it is. So at this point, she was like, okay, the Uber's about to be here in like 10 minutes, like 5-10 minutes. So I'm like, okay, so we can go upstairs now. We go upstairs. We had a bottle. We start taking shots before we about to leave. They was up there smoking. So y'all, I got my bikini top on. I had on I'm going to post pictures, like I said. I have a bikini top on, a little bathing suit, little, you know, like the dress cover-ups. Y'all know Shein. That's my place. So I had that on with like some matching sunglasses. You know, we both looked really good. They're quiet. They're silent. You would have thought that they was upstairs talking about us. They were silent, quiet. I don't know if he was mad because his attitude was like, I don't know what his thought process was. I eventually found out what his thought process was. But at this point, I was just like, it is what it is. You wasn't. And one thing y'all gonna learn about me, I don't like waiting. Like, I like what I like when I want it. And then it's like, I feel like I've been being patient with him for the last 2 days. I told you what I wanted to do. And like Megan kept saying, you haven't really expressed wanting to take me out or do anything. And you think I'm going to just be lounging around. We just going to chill in the house all day. And then I'm leaving tomorrow. Like, no, I'm taking my own destiny into my hands at this point. So we stood upstairs. We sitting at the chairs. We, like I said, having shots, laughing and talking amongst each other. Nobody saying anything. Next thing you know, she looks at me. She's like, the Uber's outside. I was like, okay. We get up. As we're walking like through the little like the garage door thing to lead outside, Megan looks at Larry and she's like, well, what's the code? Like, can you text Yana the code for the garage door so we can be able to get back in later just in case y'all not here? He was just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna send it to her. And I'm like, no, send it to me now. Like, why are you dragging your feet? You're not about to try to lock us out. He was like, why would I do that? I don't know. I'm not taking no chances. So give me the code. I'm gonna text it to you. I'm like, all right, whatever. Because at this point, the Uber is waiting. So we leave, y'all. We get in the Uber. Me and her get in the car. We laughing. We take the 35-ish minute ride, 35 minutes ride out to Venice. We get there, having a time. We go, we get food first. We sit down at a little like beachside bar, got some food, had a few drinks. We walked to the beach. We met some boys. I want to say I don't remember where they was from. Don't get me to lying. I want to say they was from Chicago when they was out there visiting or whatever. And they had family out there or something. I don't really remember. But they was inviting us to a party and stuff. So we on the beach. We taking pictures. We just vibing out. You know, she taking pictures of me. We editing our pictures. Just having a good time. And then nobody's texting me. Like, Larry's not texting me. Not a peep. After we leave there, we decide, like, oh, let's go to this rooftop bar. So we had packed to change of clothes. So we done changed our clothes. We done went to the rooftop bar. Y'all, when I tell y'all, Megan had me up there taking shots of Casamigos. Like, y'all, the shots was like this much. I want to say we was there maybe no more than like an hour and a half, 2 hours. We got really cool with the bartender. His name was Steven. I still remember him to this day. He was cool. We met this one guy from like DC, and then we met this girl. And we all was just pretty much vibing and taking shots and having a good time together. Like, we just met strangers and was having a good time. Y'all, next thing I know, I don't remember anything. Like, I was lit. I think I like low-key blacked out for real. All I remember, like, faintly hearing, I remember I was in the toilet throwing up. Megan is like, Yana, you know, are you good? I remember the girl. I don't remember what that girl name was. But she kept trying to give me coke, y'all. She was trying to give me coke. And she kept telling Megan, like, I've had hangovers before. She's just too drunk. She just needs to sniff a line of coke, and she'll come right back. And she's like, no. She's not doing that. Like, move away. Y'all, next thing you know, y'all know where I ended up? In the hospital. Y'all, I woke up in the damn hospital alone. And I know you're probably like, what? What happened to Megan? Y'all, woke up alone, IV strap. I woke up like, just felt like I had a hangover. And I'm just like, wow, like, what happened? Like, I had my phone. I had my purse, my wallet, nothing. I called Megan, and she's like, hello, Yana. I'm like, where are you at?
Card word.
Yes, ma'am.
Where the hell you at?
Like, where are you at? She was like, I'm back at the house. I'm like, where am I? She was like, you're at the hospital. She was like, you're probably like 30 minutes away. Like, you're at the hospital down by the bar, you know, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, why did you leave? She's like, girl, I left because you was there, and I didn't have what's the name's number. And she was like, I don't remember what reason she really gave, but she ended up leaving, and she went back to the house essentially, I guess, because she was like, I went back to tell Larry, like, she's sick, she's in the hospital. Like, you need to take me back to the hospital so we could go get her. We need to pick her up. Y'all know Larry basically told her, y'all went out and y'all found yourselves there, so y'all should have been able to find your way home. Oh, well, nobody told her to go out being grown. Like, I don't know what to tell you. She goes to ask Chris. Again, own car. Larry didn't put on for it. Knocking on their door like, Yana's in the hospital. She's sick. Can one of y'all, 4 grown men, y'all, can one of y'all go and come with me to go pick her up? They like, nah. So I was like, okay. So she's telling me this. Now, y'all, mind you, when we were at the rooftop bar and making friends and stuff, Steven was already telling us about an after-hour spot that he wanted to go to. And he was like, you know, when I get off, I'm going there. So y'all should go back, you know, back to the house. Y'all could change and then we can meet up later on. That was the plan, right? So Megan is like, well, what you want to do? I was like, well, I still want to go out. At this point, y'all, I think it was like maybe 12 in the morning. I was like, we going to text Steven and we're still going to go out. And she was like, girl, what? I was like, no, we're still going to go out. So she was like, okay, well, I'm on my way back to get you. Okay. She gets an Uber all the way back to the hospital. I discharged myself, whatever. And I know y'all like this mad casual. But yeah, it is what it is. So just a wild night, y'all. Just a wild night. So we get in the Uber. Y'all, we in the Uber with this like sort of kind of older-ish black lady. She was older than me. So she probably was like maybe in her mid-30s at the time. And like I said, I was like 25, 24. So she was telling us, and she was like, yeah, we telling her to run down. And she was like, well, you know, it's not their job. You know, y'all supposed to, you know, watch out for yourselves. And I'm like, I get that. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, I'm out here with you. And I know some of y'all are probably like, yeah, but you left him. Whatever. At the end of the day, I just personally feel like as a man, you could have cursed me out in the car. You could have snapped on me in the car. But my safety should have came first. But, you know, it is what it is. To each his own. I had something for him. So we end up, she takes us all the way back to the house. We get to the house, y'all. House is quiet. I guess at some point when Megan went back to the house, when she got the Uber back, they let her in and she ended up getting the code because I don't remember him ever texting me the code. So she puts the code in. House is quiet. Nobody's around. I'm thinking they would have been up smoking. Nothing. Nobody's around. Everybody's quiet. I'm like, okay. I go downstairs. She was like, so what you about to do? I was like, I'm about to go downstairs. I'm about to take a shower. I'm going to get dressed and we're going back out. We're going to get another Uber. We're going to text Steven and we're going to be back outside. And she was like, okay. And then I was like, you know, if shit go left, then shit just go left. She was like, okay. Megan was down the ride. So she goes downstairs to Tom's bathroom. She gets in the shower. I do the same thing. Now, while I'm opening the door. Now, y'all, from the hall, you know, I told you, come down the stairs, you open the door. The bed was like right there, the dresser, the winding door, but the bed was like right there. He's up, y'all, and I got my iPad right here. Y'all, this man is up on his iPad, like, and going to look at me, not say nothing. I didn't say nothing. I went right into, so like where the bedroom was, then it had a big walk-in closet and the bathroom was right next to it. So I walked right into the, I don't know what that noise was. So I walked right into the closet and took out a nice little dress. And I guess he was looking at me. And at this point, you can see him seething. Like I could feel him staring me in the back of my head. I got my dress out. I was going to be petty and lay it on across the bed, but I just went, got it, put it on a hanger that they had in the closet, and hung it up in the bathroom, went in the bathroom, got in the shower, spruced up real quick, got my life together, and was out. He did not say nothing. He was like, where are you going? Then like at this point, y'all, as I'm texting Megan, phone was charging, I'm texting Megan, she was like, I'm upstairs, like I'm about to order the Uber. I'm like, okay. She's like, I texted Steven, you know, he's waiting for us. The place don't close till like 5 in the morning. We out. So I'm on my way out the door. Like I wasn't saying nothing to him. He was like, where you going? Where are you going? And I just looked at him. I'm like, oh, I'm going out. That was my plan. I was like, you wasn't worried about me for the last 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. Don't be worried about me now. He was like, all right, bet. Close that door. And then at this point, you see Tom was like kind of creaking his door open because Leah, now y'all hear the house is up. Now y'all hear I'm home. Y'all all stayed in y'all rooms like bitches, for real. We being honest. But it is what it is. So me and Megan, she calls the Uber. We upstairs again, taking our little shots. Y'all, it's like 2 in the morning at this point. Taking our little shots, get the Uber, boom, we out. She was like, yo, our shit gonna be outside on a curb by the time, you know, all of this is said and done. I'm like, it is what it is. Like, I don't care. Y'all, the place was only like, I want to say 15 minutes away. So we pull up. Steven was outside. We go inside, y'all. We have a ball. We meet even more people. We have a time. And I don't know, like, y'all, I guess that IV flushed that liquor out because I was back in the mix. And, you know, we just kept having a good time. Next thing you know, like I said, he never texted me. He never called me. Never said nothing. 5 o'clock roll around. Steven, I don't think Steven drove there. No, we ended up catching a Uber back. Yeah, we catch an Uber back to the house, y'all. Y'all, while we get back to the house, while our stuff packed up, sitting in the garage, so we can't even get the code in to get to the door. But I'm like, y'all got our stuff in the garage, but we still know the code to get in. So we trying to put in the code, y'all. The code is not working. All of our stuff is outside, though. Like, we looking. I'm like, well, I don't see nothing missing. I guess, I don't know if all of them got up and collectively packed up our shit. I don't know. But our stuff was outside. So she's like, well, what you want to do? I'm like, well, we might as well get a hotel. At this point, I'm lit. I'm like, girl, the sun coming up. Let's just get a hotel. We figure it out later. Hurry up. I go on my phone, book a hotel, got our stuff. She booked another Uber. And we ended up going back, getting a hotel out by the airport. Went there, passed out, took showers, got up the next, a few hours later, honestly, because our flight, I believe, was at like 4 We got up, checked out, got food, went to the airport. She was flying back to Newark. I was flying back to Philly. That was that. We took off. He never hit me up, y'all. Nothing. Y'all know when this man hit me up? I get back home, back around Jordan and everything. Y'all, it's 2 days later. This man going to text my phone talking about some good morning. I missed you. After all of that, y'all, but something might be actually wrong with me because, again, he ended up becoming my boyfriend, my narcissistic ex. After all of this, after the Jordan thing, after all of this, he still ended up becoming my boyfriend. So, yeah, y'all, that was a story time about the time he flew me out. I don't know. I don't necessarily want to say I regretted the trip. I thought when I went with him again, it would have been different, and it was a little different. But, again, that's a story time for another time. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me, was I crazy for going? You know, be honest. But anyway, y'all, again, I appreciate you, and I will see you in my next video. Peace.
Hi.